Hello, Star Wars fans and collectors. It's me, Jedi Master 98, back again with another Star Wars live stream right here on the Jedi Master 98 YouTube channel. In today's live stream of Star Wars Conversations, we'll be going over the Clone Wars movie, and this is episode 12 of the live series stream that I've decided to do. As always, well, most of the streams that I've done in the past and hopefully in the future will be with Adam, who's my guest today.
Hello.
So Alan is here, obviously, like with many streams that I've done in the past, to go over in detail the strengths and weaknesses of the Clone Wars movie that was released in 2008. And yeah, we're just going to crack on, do the basics, and just say why we really enjoy the Clone Wars movie, let alone the Clone Wars series in general as well. And obviously, it's 2019 this year, and obviously Clone Wars Season 7 will be released, and when that's all released, we'll be doing a live stream on that. But in the next couple of live streams, obviously, today we're doing a movie review, and then after we'll be doing the actual Clone Wars in detail, Seasons 1 to 6, going over all different episodes, what we like, what we dislike about certain characters, arcs, and basically episodes that weren't really good enough, really. But we'll go into that in detail in the probably in the stream, and obviously in the next stream that we'll be doing about the Clone Wars as well. So, so yeah, let's get this cracking. Anything to add about the Clone Wars movie or the Clone Wars seasons in general, Adam?
Yeah, it's kind of yeah. Watching the Clone Wars movie hit me with a wave of nostalgia, as it always does with every Star Wars movie. I remember the Clone Wars movie was the second Star Wars movie I watched when I discovered Star Wars. Like, the first movie that I watched was Revenge of the Sith, and then I watched the Clone Wars movie, and then I watched episode 4, 5, and 6, and then episode 1 and 2. So yeah, when I discovered Star Wars, I did not discover it like the in the proper way, like you probably did, or you know, the more adult fan of Star Wars probably did. But
yeah,
you know, it was still a fun experience, and watching the Clone Wars, yeah, it's a very different movie from the other Star Wars movies, and it's yeah, the cinematography is you know, it's you know, its cinematography is pretty okay. Not too spectacular, but you know, it's still cool. You know, it's still beautiful. The animation is pretty okay, but you know, they did get better. You know, after when a while later, you know, when they kept going with the Star Wars TV show, with the Clone Wars TV show.
Yeah.
And the story was okay. I mean, there are some, like, there are some things that I kind of was about. And you know, I also want to talk about those battle droids, the separatist battle droids. I mean, I know they use them as like you know, comic reliefs. I mean, but damn it, they're called battle droids. They're, you know, they're the bad guys, like the goons of the bad guys. And I know it's like stereotypical of, you know, goons or henchmen to be comically you know, comically you know, easy to defeat, or you know, knock out or something like that. But like these are, and you know, these are droids, and you know, for droids, they're pretty dumb They're really dumb for
Yeah.
droids. I mean, they don't know how to calculate. They don't like they don't have good memory of orders. I mean, I get it. I get it that you wanted to make some kind of aspect of the. I mean, you need to put some comic relief somewhere, but it's still like, I mean, what? Why the droids? I wonder, because I mean, I get it if like R2D2 or C3PO or any like other than battle droids, I would get it. I would get why they would make them, you know, comic relief characters. But the battle droids, they have a purpose. They are battle droids. They're supposed to be smart. They're supposed to be intelligent,
But some of them ain't. Some of them ain't really.
but yeah, no, they're not bright at all. And I don't. And no wonder that they lost the war.
And they always kept on getting killed by clones and Jedi because they were.
Yeah, no wonder they got
worthless.
shut down at the end.
Literally, they had so many, but most of them were just worthless in the moment. They just
I'm wondering.
They could fight and everything with overwhelming numbers, but reality and obviously intelligence just went out the window.
Yeah, I mean they seem so easily defeatable, and I'm like, well, you have to explain it to George Lucas.
Yeah.
I mean, what was he wondering? I
Yeah.
mean, what was going on in his head when he created the battle droids?
Well, you look at the battle droids; they're easily defeated. But if you look at other droids, such as a super battle droid, a commando droid,
Because I mean,
or a destroyer droid, they're completely different. But the normal, average, so-called main antagonists' sidearms, they're worthless. Whereas battle droids, droidicas, and commando droids are literally at the very top.
I mean, I understand why he did it, but it's still so dumb that now I can't get it out of my head. It's so easily like fixable, and like, why? They're supposed to be overwhelming, but they're the exact opposite of that. They're underwhelming, and I find it kind of sad in a way. You could probably say the same about stormtroopers, but they have the excuse that they're more like humanoid. They're alien. They're human. Okay, they get to be dumb. It's in their nature.
Yeah.
Droids are supposed to be superior in intellect, right?
With overwhelming numbers, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're just there, and they're just like.
Yeah, and that's what's so ironic, and it's what just you have some explain to George Lucas. God damn it! Why do you bring me headaches all the time?
No, that's a funny point. As I said while you were saying that as well, destroyer droids, they're like so hard to defeat. Commander droids, the top elite droids, super battle droids, droid ships, everything's different. But the battle droids, as we saw in the Phantom Menace and obviously Attack of the Clones, obviously mainly Revenge of the Sith and the Clone Wars TV show and the micro series, they're just overwhelming numbers, but they're just like, you're so stupid. Like, why? Count Dooku, General Grievous, like, why did we create these things? Anyway, so yeah, that's a good opening point that you made, everything about the Clone Wars and everything. Funny enough, the Clone Wars movie as well was my second film that I went to see at the cinema. I went to see Revenge of the Sith at the cinema in 2005, and then when Clone Wars came out in 2008, I went to see that with my dad, and straight away, overwhelming performances. especially the battle scenes, such as the Battle of Christophsis, the Battle of Tat, and just like little bits of character development here and there throughout the film was cool. And for a different type of Star Wars that we haven't really seen before, well, I say we have seen it before with the micro series that we've done the live stream about last week, but if you actually take a step forward or possibly even a step back and look at what George Lucas has created here, it kind of like overwhelms the fandom's opinion, voice, and everything to say that this was like the start and momentum of it, the micro series. And obviously, as we've seen from the movie and the TV show, Star Wars has tried to build a reputation for younger fans and especially older fans as well by watching the Clone Wars, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's why so many people are drawn back to the franchise, let alone the movies, but new fans are discovering TV shows, older footage, newer footage of Star Wars stuff. Like for the Clone Wars was like the main thing around about 2008 to 2013, 14, and obviously we've got it this year, 2019, that's really raised the roof for a new generation of Star Wars fans, let alone older Star Wars fans like me and yourself who have gone through it and seen the Clone Wars from where it was to what it is now. And the Clone Wars is literally, I've said it before, it's a major TV show. There's many TV shows and there's many things I've watched as a kid. It's one of the hearts and one of the best feelings growing up and one of the best moments watching the Clone Wars develop. And yeah, they've done a great job, and obviously the movie was the first barrier they hit and they literally overcome it. So fair play to Lucasfilm. Would you agree, Alan? In a way, kind of like your childhood in a way, Clone Wars got better and better.
Yeah.
Anything to say?
I'm looking a bit. I'm looking at the cast for the movie. So one thing that I just noticed this time watching the movie is that Christopher Lee voiced Count Dooku, and Christopher Lee is the original actor who played Count Dooku in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. And it struck me because he didn't voice Count Dooku in the episode series, like in the TV show. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, that was Corey Burton, I believe, who voiced Count Dooku.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it was a nice touch, and it was cool to hear Christopher Lee's voice. But yeah, now it's
They did the same with Mace Windu. They got Samuel Jackson to voice Mace Windu, but when you look at the TV show and the micro series, they got Terrence C. Carson, who is the voice of Mace Windu.
Yeah. About still talking about the voice cast. Matt Lanter, or however you want to pronounce his last name, the dude who voiced Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anakin in the Clone Wars is nothing like Anakin in the movies. I mean, both visually and the way, like his voice, like I can't, it's and it kind of bugs me because you have this image of Anakin Skywalker, and it kind of changes with the Clone Wars TV show and movie. And while while most fans appreciate Anakin more thanks to Matt Lanter's performance.
Yeah. I mean, I certainly enjoyed his portrayal of Anakin.
instilled to me like the Anakin is that, you know, is that hateable Hayden Christensen. I mean, I don't hate him.
No, I wouldn't say hateable. It's just no, I wouldn't describe it that way. I thought Matt Lanter brought a more mature side and a more caring side of Anakin that we didn't really see as much of him in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. We just saw his starting quest and then his end quest, which is eventually Darth Vader. Whereas Matt Lanter has brought a different side of Anakin to the table in the Clone Wars movie and the Clone Wars TV show, a more softer side, a gentle side, and basically a caring, loving young Jedi for his master, his apprentice and everything. But he's still held back by the Council's decisions, lies, and basically things being said, not personally about him, but not really trusting and getting the confidence of Anakin. Whereas Matt Lanter's, as I said, Matt Lanter's performance did bring a softer side, a mature side, and a different side to Anakin that we saw in the movies. But yeah, that's just how I wanted to make. Carry on.
Yeah, but yeah, it kind of, you know, I get where you come from, but at the same time, it still kind of feels out of character because, you know, I mean, inconsistent. Because in Attack of the Clones we see him one way. In the Clone Wars we see him in a different way, and then in Revenge of the Sith we see him, you know, we see him like he's the same as when, you know, he was in Attack of the Clones, and it's not just because he's played by the same actor, but also, you know, the character, the character, like the you know, the attitude, the everything.
Yeah. Well, as we know from Attack of the Clones going into Revenge of the Sith, it was, I want to say 3 years after the events of Attack of the Clones, whereas obviously we know from the Clone Wars, it's telling you like the bits and bobs, what has been happening during the time of the Clone Wars, whereas obviously, as you said, we literally jumped from one bridge to another. So we see the rise of Anakin from this young, mature, young Padawan to Jedi Knight, and eventually turning into the most evil, dark warrior the galaxy has ever seen in Darth Vader. So I can understand where you're coming from as well, from a certain point of view.
Yeah. And oh my God, when they got to Tatooine,
in the film.
Yeah, when they got to Tatooine, you know, all that talk about sand, everything reminded me of, I don't like sand.
No. Gets everywhere.
Yeah. Oh my God, I can't get it out of my head. I hate memes so much.
I thought you were the king of memes, Alan.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello there.
Hello there. But yeah, once they, I mean, there was this moment when like Anakin said, don't forget it's Master Skywalker that said, I don't want to talk about my past. And then Ahsoka said, okay, there's other stuff we can talk about, like sand. And I was so I was.
How much are you watching? Like, no.
And I was so picturing Anakin saying, I don't like sand. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So Ahsoka also, you know, I have a lot to say about Ahsoka as well. But
I know you do. Well, look at her journey from there as well.
Yeah, let's start talking about the movie, and you know, we'll pause in between to talk about the characters and
of course.
You know,
I was just
highlighted moments and characters.
I was just about to say that. So we've spoken a little bit there about the Clone Wars, but obviously we'll be talking continuously throughout the stream.
Of course.
So we're going to start off with the actual movie itself. The one thing I did like about the opening of the film with the Lucasfilm logo was hearing the clones. Was hearing the clones talking in the background, like you heard them in action and everything. So that was pretty cool and everything. And then we saw the opening shot of the logo of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and obviously the thing that we've known throughout the Clone Wars series as well. And then we hear Tom Kane, the voice of the narrator, Admiral Yularen and Yoda, saying a galaxy divided Striking swiftly after the Battle of Geonosis, Count Dooku's droid army has seized control of the major hyperspace lanes separating from the majority of the Republic's clone army. With few clones available, the Jedi generals cannot gain a foothold in the Outer Rim as more and more planets join Dooku's separatists. While the Jedi are occupied fighting the war, no one is left to keep the peace, and chaos and crime spread, and the innocent become victims in the lawless galaxy. Crime Lord Jabba the Hutt's son has been kidnapped by a rival band of pirates. Desperate to save his son, Jabba puts a call on the Jedi, and they are cautious to answer. Sound like an American name, answer. And answer, yes, answer. Sound like Sean Connery. Sean Connery. So yeah, the opening shot, Jabba's son. Who'd have thought that fat bastard would have a son?
I know, right?
Yeah, dirty bastard. Yeah, so from the opening shot, Jabba has a son. So I wonder why they wanted to give Jabba a son. But
you have to explain to George Lucas.
Exactly, straight away, and you said it straight away.
Like how did he come to life? How did he make him? How does hot sex work? How did you have to explain to George Lucas?
Yeah, do you know? Like, I was just thinking. Do you know you had the Opera House scene in the Revenge of the Sith? You got Palpatine and Jabba. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you about Hutt's fucking. Anyway, we're going a little bit off topic there, but fuck it, we don't care. We swear all we like. Yeah. So, as we just said, Jabba requires information about his son. His son's been kidnapped. Mace Windu doesn't want to deal with Jabba. Obviously, the Hutts can't be trusted and everything. And Palpatine mentions they need their space lanes to move their troops.
That's dumb.
So that's Alan's opinion. Yeah, go on. Yeah.
I mean, why would a crime family
provide information and all that lot?
I mean, why would they have that kind of power?
Yeah,
like
space lanes. Yeah, it's just
Tatooine is a desert planet, and it's not that rich in economy or anything. So it doesn't really make sense to me.
It just attracts the unsavory characters such as space pirates, gangsters, bounty hunters, and basically people trying to lay low. But as we know from Tatooine, it's not the most
Jabba
curious.
the Hutt
it's
has
not the most curious stuff
because reasons.
So Mace Windu mentioned to Palpatine that they're struggling with Jedi. The only Jedi they can spare are Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin. They've just taken the planet Christosis, and eventually stuff happens there, and I think they're just talking that they're going to be sending a messenger with supplies to the clone service, and then straight away we see the Battle of Christosis. Clones and droids engage, clones holding the line with heavy fire and everything. Anything to say about the Battle of Christosis, Alan? Like straight away we dived in.
It was pretty long. It felt pretty long, even though it was only like 20 minutes. But yeah, it definitely felt longer than 20 minutes, and it was some bits of it did not I did not understand the whole. Did it make a difference when the droids turned on their deflector shields or whatnot? Did it even matter? Because they still got, like, the clones still got past the shield, like the shield got past them more accurately, and I don't see how they have, like, the droids have the advantage when they have a shield up. And
well, the droid's main purpose for that scene, let alone that major part there, was to take out the clones' heavy guns, because I think if they took out the clones' artillery,
they basically needed to take out the cannons.
Because that was their main firepower for them. Like, most of their tanks were destroyed. Literally, Obi-Wan and Anakin's forces were literally struck thin. They were in such severe state where there was only, say, a few of them left. They knew supplies were coming, but they didn't know when they were coming. But the clones and the Jedi were in such a severe state they needed to hold out as long as they can, which eventually they did. And obviously we know from the film itself that the shield generator was destroyed by Anakin and Ahsoka. But They just needed to hold out.
So you say it was to defend, like to shield the droids from aerial attack? Is that it?
Basically, yeah. Basically, the droids' aspect was to push the Republic back as far as they could, destroy the heavy cannons, and basically just trap them out in the open. Whereas you look at the shield generator, they're completely exposed in the middle, buildings severely destroyed and everything, and you just push back to literally the far stages of where the cannons are, so they can just provide fire. And that's why the clones struggled to hold them back, because you see over the barrier, like the last line of defence, the clones were getting shot, explosions everywhere, and I think they were in that such severe state. And then eventually, as we know from the film, it was a turning point from when that shield generator was destroyed, and eventually the artillery could focus on the remaining tanks there, literally destroy the droids for good. So.
And so it wasn't a deflector shield. It was like a ray shield.
It was a shield generator, similar to like the one in the Phantom Menace, but obviously not large things.
Yeah, it was a shield generator, because there's difference. The deflector shields is in the spaceship.
Yeah. Go on. Yeah. Please continue.
Yeah. So okay. So now it makes sense that the whole shield part. But yeah, the battle itself, it was pretty, it was cleverly constructed, I guess.
Nothing else? I'll say something. Yeah.
We got introduced to a new character. We got introduced to Captain Rex.
Yes. And I was about to say that. Yeah.
And that was the first of many Captain Rex appearance we get in this Clone Wars saga. And it's we now Rex is a fan favorite character, and now it's so. In this movie, we see kind of where it all started.
Yeah. So as you said, the Battle of Christophsis, it was good. I did enjoy it. I can understand your point where it said it was going on for too long, with obviously Anakin involved in everything, which I will go on to in a minute. But yeah, I did enjoy it, and for any Star Wars fans to see a battle like that, it always leads the way with obviously Star Wars. We know it's all about wars and everything as well, but not all the battles are fought in space. They fought on different planets, different surfaces, different environments, different characters. So that was really, really cool to see. So as I mentioned, the clones are holding off the droids as much as they can. Firing, obviously, their DC-15 rifles and everything. We see Anakin Skywalker attack with Captain Rex with the large droid vehicles that we see him attack. We see Obi-Wan command his troops to push forward and hit the droid lines head on. The one thing that did make me laugh about that scene was when the clones were attacking, there was a clone trooper who decided to punch a droid.
Yeah.
Literally just screamed and then got shot, which was quite funny. And there was another.
It was also dumb, but yeah.
It was also dumb, yeah. It was like one of the clones as well. He told his men to go over the top. He just gets shot and the fucking helmet comes off. So that was.
Yeah. But then Cody kicks and hits him.
Yeah, Cody just kicks ass, like he punches one, kicks him, and they just spray as much firepower as they can and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, we see the heavy cannons are pushing the droids back as well, as we mentioned. The clones are desperate for reinforcements and everything. And we see one of the generals in the Clone Wars movie who commands the droids. He said that we need to pull back and set up our deflector shields, and eventually the droids retreat back to their lines. The clones live to fight for another day. After that, as they mentioned, Admiral Alonn, I think the messenger arrives on the surface, and everyone's requested that he wants to teach a new Padawan learner the next generation of Jedi. And as you said, Adam, the first appearance of Captain Rex in the Clone Wars movie, let alone the Clone Wars TV show, was obviously iconic, because obviously he's become such a fan favourite character. And then that being said, we see the doors pull down, and we see the first appearance of Ahsoka Tano, and obviously you've got the book and everything of Ahsoka Tano, and obviously we know from that perspective as well, such as Captain Rex, she has become such a fan favorite, kind of like an iconic Star
And she
Wars
did not
character
start as a
as well.
fan
But she
favorite.
did not start as a
She
fan
was so
favorite.
annoying in that movie. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Do you want to take the lead on this point? Because I know you've got some things to say.
Yeah, no, it's Ahsoka was so annoying in the begin when in the first couple of seasons, and in her first appearance as well, because she's that's
As Anakin says, snippy little
like
young
how old was she? What, like 12?
12, 13.
Yeah, and she always had she I mean she of course she would remind you of Anakin.
Yeah.
Kind of I don't want to say reckless, but she doesn't listen.
She doesn't think before she speaks. She's too
Yeah,
worried about the outcome and thinking
she's a bit
stage by step.
she's a bit arrogant, and she's cocky and a bit like some sentences that come out of her mouth are kind of annoying, because she's kind of sarcastic most of the time, and but yeah, it's amazing to see how from that annoying character we get a fan favorite badass warrior, and yeah, it's amazing. And we don't see many characters who start like that and end up and better. Yeah, we definitely did not see that with Jar Jar or C-3PO.
No. I mean, we know your feelings about Jar Jar and everything.
I don't know what you're talking about. I love Jar Jar.
Is that sarcasm? That sounds like sarcasm. Anyway, where was I? So as I mentioned, the first appearance of Ahsoka Tano, whereabouts is that?
Jar Jar represents, a fundamental aspect of Star Wars. He is the bridge between the people who love the prequels and the people who hate the prequels. He represents the evolution of computer generated imagery, computer generated character, and there's more to him that meets the eye.
Yeah.
You wait and see.
So as we mentioned about seeing Ahsoka Tano for the first time and everything, obviously she's the messenger and everything. And so the first appearance of Ahsoka Tano, obviously Republic ships are finding it hard to push their way through the Separatist blockades. The clones and the Jedi are trapped here for the time being. Ahsoka has been assigned to Anakin Skywalker, which he didn't expect, because Anakin did mention as well he didn't want to become a Jedi Master. I was just thinking, when you heard it out of the blue, thinking, well, I've seen Revenge of the Sith. I've never heard once about Anakin having a Padawan, but obviously, as we know, the Clone Wars is just before the events of Revenge of the Sith, so take a step back and obviously judge the situation better and everything.
Yeah.
So, as I mentioned, Ahsoka Tano has been assigned to Anakin Skywalker to teach her Jedi training and everything, show her the ways of the Force and yada yada yada, the way Obi-Wan trained Anakin.
Anakin was knighted, and he had a Padawan before he was even given the rank of Master. How do you explain that?
You say it, Adam. You say it. Your iconic catchphrase.
You have to explain to George Lucas.
Yep. See, there's the iconic catchphrase in this live stream. Yeah, maybe that can be.
I'm sure it's explained somewhere, but I mean, have you ever read any explanation for that?
Not really. No, I haven't really given it much thought until you just mentioned that now. So probably later on.
I mean, you probably wondered about that.
You wondered about thinking, we know what happened to Anakin in Attack of the
Like
Clones.
it's not
Just like, where's it come from? It's just you've got to like, take a
It
step
doesn't seem
back
to
and
be
think.
very regular of the Jedi Council to, you know, assign an apprentice to a Jedi who's not given the rank of Master. I don't know.
Yeah, you could say that
Weird.
speech in Revenge of the Sith. It's unfair. How can you be on the council and not be a master? Take a seat, young Allen. Forgive me, master. So I had to just bung that in there. Take a seat. Yeah, take a seat, Allen. Oh wait, you're seated. Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway,
this is rubbish.
Yeah, this is rubbish.
This is an outrage.
It's unfair. You could just have a meme of Palpatine. It's not the story the Jedi would tell you.
Yeah.
Allen was a Dark Lord of the Sith. So
is it
powerful.
possible to learn this power?
Not from a Jedi. Sorry, we just had to get them Star Wars quotes in. But yeah, as you said, I haven't really given it much thought. But if we got to speak about it more later on during the stream, we're going into more detail and everything. So after we've seen the clones being trapped and everything, obviously they've assigned themselves a task of taking out the. Oh, I meant no. Where was I? Sorry, I think I skipped a bit. Track. We see there we go. After we've seen that happen and everything, we see the first appearance of Asajj Ventress talking to Count Dooku. And obviously from that straight away the Sith are behind the kidnapping of Jabba the Hutt's son. After that we see Anakin Skywalker, Captain Rex and Ahsoka Tano obviously on the lookout platform, just looking to see if the droids are planning out another attack. Obviously, Ahsoka Tano calls Anakin Sky Guy, which has become a catchphrase and a nickname throughout the Star Wars experience and the Star Wars galaxy and everything. And you actually don't you have something to do with Sky Guy in your collection, Alan? Is it signed?
Yeah.
By Ashley Eckstein.
Holy shit! I almost forgot.
Yeah, I just thought about that because I remember you.
Hold on, I'll get it.
Showing me.
So yeah, back in 2013. In 2013, I went to my first Star Wars celebration in Germany, in Essen, Germany, and I met Ashley Eckstein there, the voice of Ahsoka Tano, and because it was said on the website that she would be there, and I already prepared like a few photos to get signed from different actors, but then I discovered that autographs, they cost money apparently, and but yeah, I still met Ashley Eckstein there. And I managed to get her to sign this drawing that I made of Ahsoka in in her appearance in the later seasons of the Clone Wars. And
very, very nice.
She dedicated to my Sky Guy Alonn, Ashley Eckstein, Ahsoka Tano.
That is very, very nice. And
yeah,
you drew that yourself as well. And you got it framed, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I drew that myself. It could look better. I mean, I could make it better if I draw again. But I have this little memory.
That's nice.
And I need to someday hang this again.
Do you also have
any space on my room?
Sorry to interrupt. Do you also have any other Star Wars items signed? Because I know you got something from Ray Park, but it was the Darth Maul from the Clone Wars.
Yeah. I have a signed picture of the Star Wars Rebels.
Star Wars Rebels. Sorry.
Yeah, the Star Wars Rebels Darth Maul, but I have it signed by Ray Park, who played Darth Maul originally in The Phantom Menace. So it's kind of dumb, I know, but my plan was to get it signed by both Sam Witwer and Ray Park, but I did not get to get some Whitworth's autographs, so it kind of looks dumb on my wall now. Like on my it's not on my wall, it's on my closet. So yeah, I'm not gonna take it off now.
Yeah, don't worry. I just thought of that because you had that item signed by Ashley Eckstein, so I just thought I'd let everyone know. So yeah, Ahsoka mentions Skyline and everything, and then you hear Captain Rex and Ahsoka Tano speaking about moving the cannons back. He says experience outranks everything. So we see the droids put up an energy shield, which you mentioned earlier on. Obviously, they've stated as well they need to find a way to take down the droids' shield generator and everything. Their aim is to destroy the heavy cannons and everything that we've mentioned as well. And obviously, Anakin and Obi-Wan go behind enemy lines to try and destroy the shield generator as well. And obviously, as we know from the film as well, they do succeed in their mission. After that, we see ARF troopers disguised in camouflage outfits. Obviously, they're clone armor. I think they head to the planet Tat, which is obviously the planet where Jabba the Hutt's son has been taken to. We see the heavy cannons cannot penetrate the shield. The clones pull back, and we see Ahsoka, Tano, and Anakin hide under a metal box to take out the shield generator. Once that's happened, we see the clones and the droids engage in the shield generator. A destroyer spots the Jedis, obviously Ahsoka and Anakin as well. We see the Jedi fight the destroyer droid as well. We see the clones fighting the droids. They are struggling, I think, to hold the droids back. We see eventually Captain Rex and his men push back and everything. And once that's happened, we see Obi-Wan Kenobi surrender. Obviously, he's stalling for Anakin and Ahsoka Tano to succeed in their mission. Obviously, the Jedi has mentioned that as well. And before we move on, is there anything you'd like to add on that scene, Aaron? The clones pushing back, Obi-Wan stalling, and eventually Anakin and Ahsoka achieving their mission.
Sorry, what you were saying?
I said, is there anything you'd like to add on the next bit I want to mention about? You see Obi-Wan Kenobi stalling, Anakin
yeah, that was
and
funny.
Ahsoka.
That was funny. That was very Obi-Wan like. And yeah, it was. I mean, of course, it it kind of felt silly, but it was good silly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's all right. Yeah, it's all right. We'll carry on. After that, we see Republic reinforcements arrive. Obviously, in space, we see Ahsoka Tano set off the enemy trap. She uses the Force and gets more droids and everything. Anakin states, "Whose side are you on anyway?" She sets the charges. Eventually,
yeah, go ahead.
Go on, sorry. Go on, make your point.
No. Finish your sentence.
I was just going to say, Ahsoka uses the Force to pull down the wall and destroy the remaining droids and everything. And then after that, we see the shield generator eventually get destroyed by Anakin and Ahsoka by planting the detonators. We see Obi-Wan capture the general, and eventually Anakin and Ahsoka, in a way, start to get on, even though she's reckless. But Anakin can kind of see the softer side of Ahsoka on becoming a young, mature Jedi. And yeah, that's all I'll say until the next point. Is what was you going to say, Alan?
So I'm kind of doing a Google search for explanations for Anakin having an apprentice. So I came by a couple of articles, and I wanted to read through one of them.
Yeah, just before that, I just need to get my pen quickly.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go on. I just got my pen because I just need to mark out where I am on my notes, what we're talking about. Go on, sorry.
Very well. Okay, so I'm in the middle of this little article right here. So it says an apprentice cannot have an apprentice. So that's like a learner driver teaching another learner driver to drive. The Jedi Council were in desperate need of more warriors, as most of their forces were wiped out during the opening battle of the war, and since Anakin was one of the Jedi's best, so he was granted an upgrade in rank. This also allowed for him to go from commander to general within the military, as Padawans were often granted the military rank of commander, while their teachers, whether they be knights or masters, were generals. An example would be Ahsoka. Since Ahsoka was a Padawan, she was given the rank of commander, as she was not a knight, and nor was she a master, while Anakin and Obi-Wan were both generals because of their Jedi ranks of knight and master respectively. So basically what they're saying is
they were really struggling from obviously the battle genosis that we saw.
So yeah, so basically so they kind of explain it in the military aspect, like Jedi Knights equal Jedi Masters when it comes to military rank. Like they have the same rank, like so it's almost like Anakin is technically a master, like in rank, in military rank.
But obviously, from Revenge of the Sith, it's a completely different perspective.
Yeah. So outside of the it's kind of outside of the Jedi, like the Jedi
Jedi code.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's so it's not. So yeah, it's in the context. Like if it's, I can't have words. I don't know how to make the sentence that I want to make. Okay, so basically, in the field, it's not the same as in the Jedi Temple.
Yeah.
In the Jedi Temple, he's not a master. He's a Jedi Knight, and that's it. But on the field, he's considered as a master because he's like he has experience, and he's old enough I guess because he's old enough to be given the rank of general, as and like, so in a way, so he's a general, so that means that in the field he's also a master. And okay. So they gave him an apprentice for the field, but not for the temple. Like when it comes to titles.
Yeah.
So it comes to titles and rankings and whatnot. Okay. And so she had to be assigned to someone, and since Obi-Wan already has an apprentice, being Anakin does not have an apprentice. He is considered as a master on the field. Henceforth, she was assigned to Anakin because they were in desperate need of more warriors on the field, and so then she was given the rank of commander, even though she was like 12 or 13 years old.
Yeah, a lot of responsibility. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, go ahead and give authority.
No, that's good.
Oh my God.
Well done for researching that, for clearing it up and everything. Before we move on, is there any comments?
Now it makes sense, but in a dumb way.
Yeah. Sorry. Before we move on to the next bit, is there any comments in the
no,
chat?
There's no comments in the chat, unfortunately, but it's still fun.
That's right. That's okay. All right, then we'll move on. After we've seen...
I have a question, though. Do you get comments on these streams after they're off air?
A couple, but mainly not, no.
Okay.
Occasionally I'll get a comment, but apart from that, mainly no.
Right.
So, yeah, but hopefully there'll be some more comments later and everything, but if there isn't, then they know where to add the comments and everything. After we've seen Ahsoka and Anakin obviously defeat the shield generator, Yoda mentions that he's had trouble with his new Padawan. They talk about stuff and they think yada yada yada. And Yoda assigns Anakin to be sent with his apprentice to the TEF system, Wild Space. The droid army isn't even in that sector. Obviously, Jabba the Hutt's son has been kidnapped, since Anakin's responsibility to recover Jabba's son. After that, we see Jabba's palace again. Obviously, the bounty hunters have returned from their mission, and the thing I found really cool was when they returned, you just saw their heads, which was quite funny in a way, but obviously quite grim as well, to just only see their heads return. And obviously, he wanted them to contact the Jedi Temple immediately. Sorry, the Chancellor Palpatine. After that, we see the Republic arrive on the planet Teth. We see Ahsoka Tano telling the story to the clones about obviously what Ahsoka done. She pulled the wall down and saved the Jedi and everything. After that, we see Obi-Wan Kenobi arrive on Tatooine to speak to Jabba about negotiations on rescuing Jabba the Hutt's, obviously Jabba the Hutt's son. And obviously, he said that the Jedi don't pull through, Count Dooku and his droid army will, but obviously we know that from the very start of it, the droids and the Separatists were responsible for kidnapping Jabba the Hutt's son. And then once we've seen that happen, we see R4, Obi-Wan Kenobi's droid attack a couple of jars with obviously an electric shock. We see Jabba also requests to Obi-Wan that he wants his son, the kidnappers, found dead or alive. Obviously, he's Pumpkin Muffin, as he called him, for some reason. And then after that, obviously we see more stuff being said and everything. And after that, we see the gunships arrive on the planet Teth and eventually engage the droids. We see the gunship blast doors close. We see red light and eventually the green light, which indicates that the clones are ready for action, and eventually jump out the gunship to invade and engage the enemy droids on the planet Teth. So once they've jumped out the gunship, we see one of the droid sergeants just mentioning random numbers and random commands, and eventually we see him fall from the main part of the temple, which you fall down to the very bottom. And as you mentioned, Anakin, they are just stupid droids and everything. And the one thing I really did enjoy about the Planet Teth scene was that the clones were using extension cables to climb up the wall, which was very, very cool. Something you would not really see in other, obviously, the prequel movies, but obviously from the Clone Wars, they gave you the perspective on what it was like fighting alongside Jedi and clones.
Mm-hmm.
So we see the extension cables go up. We see Ahsoka Tano use the ATTE to engage the droids and eventually move up. We see stuff happening there, and I think shots being fired. And we see Ahsoka Tano's on the AT-ATE, obviously gets shot, gets off balance and everything, and we see Ahsoka engage even more droids. And then Anakin comes down, rescues her, takes her droid's speeder, and eventually races to the very top of it, destroy the droids, and eventually the ATTE drives up, shoot the remaining droids, and eventually they secure the platform and part of the temple. Anything to add on that, Alan? About them attacking the planet Teth, or the temple where Jabba the Hutt's son is?
They sent Anakin, of all people, to rescue Jabba the Hutt's son.
And bear in mind, he hates Hutts.
I mean, he was fucking enslaved by Hutts, and you know, I don't have anything to complain about. It's just, you know, it just occurred to me when we were watching the movie. They know his past.
He doesn't like sand. End of. Leave him alone.
Yeah, no, they know his past, but they still sent him to do that mission anyway. And you know, I believe that it was to trial him. You know, to you know, it was some sort of Jedi trial in a way. I believe it kind of, you know, it's kind of a symbol of confronting your past or something, something, you know, in that general direction. And you know, yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting. it's also, you know, it's frustrating from Anakin's point of view that he had to do that.
Yeah.
But I think that he took it very maturely, which is not like Anakin to do. Anakin is very immature, and in this movie he seemed pretty mature, and so why
Maybe he's probably mature in this because, as you said, he's got a young Padawan learner. He wants to try and pressure, show the ropes, and basically become the best Jedi she could possibly be. And obviously, as you said, with this being Anakin's so-called trial, it's kind of like the next stage forward on how Anakin would react to becoming a Jedi Master. And as Yoda mentioned as well, what it would be like later on to let his apprentice go. So obviously, as we know from the Clone Wars movie, throughout the Clone Wars TV show, they bonded really well. Obviously, from the season 5 finale, it was really hard for him to let go of his apprentice. As you said, maybe it was like the first stage of a trial to try and get them to engage evil war and fight on many fronts throughout the Clone Wars.
Yeah. Also, there was a bit of foreshadowing when Yoda said taking on an apprentice is letting go of an apprentice is easier than taking on an apprentice. And so yeah, it was a bit of foreshadowing to, you know, the end of season 5 when Ahsoka leaves the Jedi Order, and Anakin is forced to kind of let her go. Was it intentional? Like, did they know Ahsoka's fate back then?
Possibly, I don't know. But as we know from season 5, from the last couple of episodes onwards, the Jedi were completely wrong to do so. So, as you said, the dark side of the Force clouded their vision, but it's just so pathetic why they would do that, and it kind of like summed up the whole Jedi's perspective in the Clone War, because they actually done something completely ruthless that was completely wrong, and it backfired them by losing a very gifted young student. You'll see Anakin lost even more trust in the Council, so we know his feelings about that and everything.
So I also did a bit of research on the whole battle droids being dumb.
Go for it.
So yeah, so it basically basically they're dumb because they like them being like intelligent does not matter as long as they, you know, as long as they are, effective on the battlefield. Like, they like, as long as they know how to aim and shoot and execute. But hey, here's the thing: they don't know how to aim. Okay, I mean, they do kill one or they do kill a few clones, but I mean, they don't kill major characters. So, it's basically they it convenience. Okay, they also. What do you mean they don't need to be intelligent? I mean, you have the super battle droids, you have the assassin droids who are way more intelligent than the regular B1 battle droids. And you wonder, why do they keep manufacturing the B1 battle droids when they have those other more more intelligent and more effective battle droids?
As I said earlier on, you look at the other droids, the droidicas, the commando droids, all the different ones that we've seen throughout the Clone Wars, and you've just got these stupid, pathetic ones, as you mentioned, who just are reckless and they can't aim for shit. So,
yeah, what gives? What gives?
You got some explaining to do, Darth Sidious and Count Dooku, or whoever, or even the Trade Federation as well, for creating those battle droids. So yeah, that's all I can really say.
Oh yeah, the Trade Federation are so dumb.
Yeah, I mean, all they wanted was their money, weren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, we'll move on. After that, we see the Jedi find the hut. Dooku has requested that he wants to get Jabba on his side and obviously have his say. He's mentioned to Jabba by manipulating him that the Jedi are responsible for stealing his son. Jabba the Hutt's son is sick, and obviously Anakin hates Hutts, and obviously that is the major recording that Count Dooku wanted to show Jabba the Hutt. Once that's happened, we see Obi-Wan and Anakin speak about Jabba's son. The droids engage the clones and the Jedi are pushed back into the temple. The droids eventually break the lock by using the Sarge Ventress's lightsaber. She cuts it across. And eventually we see the clones and the droids engage the clones in the entrance of the temple. We see Ventress talking to the droid commander. He eventually shoots his pistol at the droid commander, shoots shots at Ventress, but obviously Ventress strangles her. He doesn't speak to Separatist scum, and eventually she uses her mind trick on him to say that where's Skywalker, where's your location? So obviously we know from that Ventress is using the mind trick and everything. Once that's happened, we see... Where are we? Yeah, later on stuff happens and everything. We see Ahsoka and Anakin go to the landing platform. We see Obi-Wan Kenobi provide air cover, and we see Rex and his fellow clone troopers take out the droids while they're being imprisoned in the courtyard of the temple. Now I thought that was funny. He's just got his comlink. He's just got his Jedi. Sorry, he's not Jedi. His clone comlink ring. So what's that? And let me show you it works. Clanky literally just smacks it across the face, and the head just goes round, and just grabs the gun.
Yeah.
Shoot stuff. But what always makes me laugh is always in them scenes and everything. There's always one clone that always fucking gets killed. There's always that one in it. Every time it's like droids get killed, but when there's something happens, there's always that poor clone who always gets killed, who's always in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Anything to add on that, Adam? Force choking, Ventress. Anything to add?
So yeah, Ventress. Ventress is, in they of course they develop her character throughout the series, but
yeah, also we know her from the micro series as well.
My first impression of Ventress was, oh yeah, she's just another assassin. She's just another discount boss battle. I mean, I like sword fighting. She's a good sword fighter.
Yeah.
And it's just that, I don't know where I'm going with this. Okay, she's a good sword fighter, but as a character, in the beginning, she was pretty generic. That's where I'm going with this. She felt pretty generic in the movie in her first appearance, but of course, they couldn't develop more on her because she wasn't as important as the other characters. Like, they wanted to develop more of the relationship between Ahsoka and Anakin because they're the protagonists, and Ventress is the antagonist, and she's more of she's more of a henchman than anything.
She's the one. She's like the person who's responsible for Count Dooku's dirty works when he's not around and everything.
Exactly. But all in all, Ventress is a cool character. Her appearance in the movie was pretty effective, I guess, but not too much. The fight scene between her and Obi-Wan, which we'll get to later, there were some pauses that could have been avoided, like the "now you die" pause.
Yeah, and all that lot.
That was so unnecessary.
Yeah, that could have been avoided, or they should have just focused a couple of minutes on Obi-Wan. And
those one-liners are kind of annoying. There's a lot of one-liners in the Clone Wars movie, and they're pretty annoying.
Yeah, I mean, that point being said, it was good that we saw Ventress and Obi-Wan fighting, but the Anakin and the Ahsoka stuff where they've actually escaped and everything, that was good, but there should have been more Ventress Obi-Wan fighting and no one-liners so they can think, well, I see the point you're making.
Yeah. So I'm okay with, I'm okay with the Ventress character and the way she was used in the movie. It's just the one-liners that, you know, kind of tick me off. But yes, no doubt that character was, you know, used well in this movie, and you know, even though the droid army is not very overwhelming, they still managed, ironically, to overwhelm the Jedi and the clones in that temple.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's still, you know, it's very strange. How does an underwhelming army manage to overwhelm?
As you said, you got your famous, you got your iconic catchphrase in this live stream.
But it's the same. It's the same with every other. You see it in various other movies with armies of goons that you know are easily defeatable, but still manage to like overwhelm and outnumber the good guys. Like, you know, we had that plenty of times in Star Wars with the stormtroopers and the First Order and the freaking battle droids. And we had it also in The Lord of the Rings, and we had it in The Hobbit, and we had it in it's a cliche. It's a stereotype, and it's so yeah. I'm not complaining per se. It's, you know, it's nitpicking.
And you have the right to nitpick.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what comes to mind. That's what comes to mind when, you know, when you give deeper thought into a movie, which is which is the kind of the, you know, the I don't like if I it's stupid because if I was making a movie, like, I don't know, if you would make a movie, Jack, would you want the audience to give deep thought into your movie?
I wouldn't say give deep thought. I just
like
feel...
as much deep thought, like so much deep thought that, you know, it comes to nitpicking every single detail, like nitpicking your droid army.
No, I would honestly, if I was like making a movie or directing anything, I'll just give what audience would be required to look forward to, and that is action, character development and stuff. But other stuff for like silly one-liners and making a character thick as shit would make nitpicking. But if you do everything by the book and the basics, then it would work.
They did do everything. They did do basically practically everything, you know, by the book.
Yeah.
You know, everything worked, and you know, it was, you know, everything's okay. It's just those stuff that, you know, they're convenient for storytelling, but they're not necessarily logically necessary. You know, I mean they're not logical, but they're necessary for the storytelling. And I get that, but at the same time, you know, we can't help but, you know, notice those tiny little details.
Yeah.
Why do I have a brain?
So you can live and love Star Wars. Right, then yeah, that's cool.
I feel, every time we have these streams, I feel like I feel like I give more hate than love to this franchise.
Well, we know your opinion of the last. Maybe it's that last Jedi stream that's done it all.
Yeah, no. Ever since the Last Jedi, I've my you know I guess my eyes were kind of made sober, and I've kind of started to see all the flaws in Star Wars, and now I'm cursed because of that movie. And now I look for sins in every movie, and it's so frustrating.
Well, it's 2019, mate. You got episode 9, so that's you down to a T if anything happens in that. So yeah, you got to get through that as well.
Oh my god.
All right, yeah. Getting back to what we was talking about, as you mentioned about everything, as I mentioned before, we changed stuff about the clones always dying. We see Ventress fight Ahsoka Tano on one of the landing platforms. Ahsoka takes out the caretaker droid by cutting off its head. You'll see the bottom of that completely gets destroyed and they fly off on a big weird bug. After that, we see Obi-Wan and Ventress fight. The Jedi are about to arrive on the ship, but the hangar gets destroyed by the droids. And then once we've done that, stuff happens and everything. We see Anakin Skywalker jump into hyperspace. Ventress and Obi-Wan sense it. Dooku claims that Skywalker is going to kill Jabba the Hutt, as is mentioned after that scene.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we don't really need to explain the Ventress and Obi-Wan thing because we've re-explained it, haven't we? So we can move on to there. After that, Magna Guards engage the Jedi. And eventually the ship crash lands in the desert. And you'll see, as you mentioned, Alan, about the desert and sand that we'll talk about on past.
Yeah.
We see Obi-Wan speak to Palpatine and Yoda about the plot to steal the Hutt. About everything, saying it was Dooku's and the Separatists' plan from the very beginning to steal the Hutt and blame the Jedi for it and everything. Once that's happened, we see Padme appear and speak to Palpatine. She goes to see Jabba's uncle on the other side of Coruscant. We see stuff happen there, and I think negotiations that Jabba the Hutt's uncle doesn't want to engage or deal with Padme. And the one thing that did struck me about Jabba the Hutt's uncle is they say uncle, but he's purple. And I thought it was a woman, but it tends
Me too, yeah. The first time I saw Zero the Hutt, so I was like, dude, that's a female Hutt.
Yeah, I was just thinking, is it a transvestite Hutt who dresses up in women's makeup? You don't know.
No, it looks like a female Hutt. He sounds like a female Hutt.
Yeah.
So, but he's a male, and he's not even gay because we later on learned that he actually has like a female lover.
Yeah, I think the voice.
That's not even a Hutt.
Yeah. I think the voice of. I'm trying to think who's done the voice of Zero.
Okay, let me check.
I think it may have been Corey Burton, the voice of Cad Bane, Count Dooku, as well. I could be wrong. Please check.
What was movie cast? I'll check it out for you. So, okay, so yeah, Corey Burton voiced Zero the Hutt.
Okay, I think he done Cad Bane as well.
Possibly. It doesn't say. I'm just looking at the cast of the movie, not the show itself.
Yeah, I was just making the point there.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got it right. I did. Corey Burton voiced Zero the Hutt. All right, that's cool. So yeah, once that's happened, we see obviously she goes to see Jabba the Hutt's uncle. We see Padme escape from the droid and hears Jabba the Hutt and Zero. Here's Count Dooku and Zero the Hutt speaking about why they kidnapped Jabba's son. We see Padme is taken to a prison cell where C-3PO contacts her and she requests for help. After that, we see Dooku and Anakin Skywalker fight in the desert. Dooku strikes Anakin's clone backpack, but obviously in there there's nothing but rocks. Jabba's son is safely with his Padawan Myrna. Before that, we see Ahsoka Tano engage Magna Guards, and she's fighting them as well. After that, we see C-3PO and Commander Fox Regiment, the Coruscant Guard, help Padme get free from the lights of Zero the Hutt. We see Padme take one of the droid's assassin's gun and kills the assassin droid, and after that, we see stuff happen again. Anakin takes his lightsaber to Jabba the Hutt and says that I'm here to negotiate, not to kill you. And once that's been said, everything's calmed down. We see Padme contact Jabba. We'll see she mentions that Zero the Hutt was in lead with the wicked Count Dooku and responsible for kidnapping Jabba the Hutt's son. And it's just occurred to me, they mentioned in the Clone Wars that Zero the Hutt was going to be dealt with severely, but obviously from season 3 of the Clone Wars, was it Jabba the Hutt? Did he really want Zero Hutt to? Obviously, we know from the Clone Wars season 1 finale that Zero the Hutt was freed from prison by Cad Bane and Aurra Sing that lot, but if I can remember from the Clone Wars season 3, did they really want Zero the Hutt free due to information, wasn't it? Because I remember from Clone Wars season 3, there was like important information.
Yeah, so it was information about it was like critical information about the Hutt clan.
Yeah,
the Hutt families.
Yeah, I was to see that happen, and then when you see the film, you see Jabba the Hutt have sort of hatred for his uncle, and then tides are turned, and he wants important information. But as you said, Alan, Zero the Hutt for some reason had a love, and obviously he got killed by that weird-looking alien from Return of the Jedi with the awful singing voice and that horrible skin and everything. So yeah, so that what it was. It's about the Hutt cartel information, really, not getting into the wrong hands. Okay. As I mentioned, just quickly, just go over it again. Padme contacts Jabba the Hutt and they sign allegiance with the Jedi. We see Dooku escape and he speaks to Darth Sidious, allow the Jedi to have this small victory. Once that's happened, we see the shot change. We hear like A New Hope sort of false theme. We see Obi-Wan, Yoda arrive on the planet Tatooine with Commander Cody and his clones. The Jedi have saved the day. We see Jabba the Hutt looking happy with his son on his hand. And after that, we see the film end. So, yeah, anything to add on that, Adam?
What I wanted to add, yeah, so you also wonder why, like, what was the point of all this? Because Darth Sidious controls both the Republic and the Separatists.
Yeah.
But so he wins either way. But that's not the point. The point was to have, that this is the Clone Wars. This is something that he orchestrated, and there needs to be action. So he basically also orchestrated this little plot within the plot. So so there's some action in this whole plot. So it's chaos, chaos within his own order. I find that very beautiful.
I've just thought of something as well. Do you know, I literally just mentioned that Jabba the Hutt was outside with his hut lit and everything. It's just amazing that his throne can move. Because usually we've known Jabba for sitting down indoors, and then that end shot, we just see Jabba the Hutt towards the door, looking happy and smiling with his son. It's just like, you fat bastard.
Yeah, and Jabba was also kind of out of character in this movie because we know him as this as this, very well. He's disgusting. He's vile. He is vile, and he is um you know he's dirty. Um he's not fit to be a father, damn it.
No. I'm surprised he even had a kid in the first place, the fat bastard, let alone look after a child. Well, a
Yeah,
hutlet, I should
but
say. Not a
then
child.
then again, it was a more, like Obi-Wan said, it was a more civilized age, I guess. And the first time we ever see Jabba is in Return of the Jedi, which takes place years and years after
A New
after the
Hope.
Clone Wars.
We
Yeah,
saw, we saw him in A New Hope first.
yeah. Also, so obviously he also changed in A New Hope. We see that we don't see his son. His son is either dead or somewhere else in the galaxy. Handling his own business. And so it kind of it can so that's so he doesn't have a kid at home anymore, so he can do kind of whatever he wants, and act however he wants. So I guess I get it, but it's still kind of disturbing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm just thought of something as well. I'm just gonna quickly type in what happened to Jabba the Hutt's son.
To Rota, yeah. Rota the Hutt.
Right, here we go. Let's have a look. There's something about a wife as well. Rota.
Rota the Hutt.
Rota the Hutt. Right. Right, let's have a look.
Punky Muffin and Stinky.
Stinky.
Are his nicknames.
His nicknames, yeah. That sounds to do from all the Clone Wars. Let's have a look.
Okay, so there's not much. There's not much said about him in canon. Is there anything said in legend?
I've just seen something here. It says in 20 BBY, Jabba heard of the activities of the Shadow Collective and sent Rota away from his palace before Darth Maul and his criminal army arrived. So maybe he heard that he was going to be in danger, so he sent him away.
Right.
There's a video online as well about Rota. It's done by the. It's done by one of them, the good YouTuber, the Lore Master.
All right. Yeah, what happened to Jabba's son?
Yeah.
I just want an article, really.
Yeah.
Jabba the Hutt, the offspring of Jabba the Hutt is yeah, okay. By the time of Rebels, Rota would no longer be a Huttlet, reaching around 30 years of age, and would likely have become very powerful under the shadow of its father, Jabba the Hutt. During the Clone Wars, Rota was under the watchful supervision of Jabba's aide, Bib Fortuna, who had brought Jabba's heir to worlds like Ratatak to gamble on gladiatorial arenas or Zygeria slave market, and even Obadiah in doing business with the Pikes. Upon returning upon returning God damn it. Upon returning the Jabba with several slaves, returning to Java with several slaves, a bucket of credits ahead of bounty, and the pet rancor, Jabba awarded his heir with his ship, the Star Jewel. Rhoda ventured off with its father's new ride, collecting several ships throughout the years and several homes all across the galaxy, seeking to build her own. Her? Wrote, no. Rata is not a her.
No.
Seeking to, because no, but it's right here. It says her. It reads her. Seeking to build his own empire upon finding his own identity. Oh shit!
What?
Rota became Queen Jules, not King. Queen Jules.
He's a queen.
Or a character very similar to that of Queen Jules, giving a classic twist on the humorous Hutts, managing to speak a flamboyant basic English like Zero, yet still holding the gravely voice of Huttis, her or his native language, especially when speaking to his father. Damn it! It says it's a fucking male. Damn it! It's a male Hutt, not a female Hutt. What happened? What did he? What the?
He probably got his dick.
Are we still talking about the same character?
Yeah, he's either probably got his dick cut off and he's become a female. He's taken after his uncle.
What the fuck, man? Hold on, no, this can't be. Let's see. Rather the Hutlet. No.
Why don't we quickly check out that Lore Master video?
This is strange.
Alan.
Yeah.
Go back and quickly check out that Lore Master because they're pretty accurate on there.
Yeah, that's 1 minute 56. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so when Darth Maul came back and was coming to Tatooine,
yeah,
to attack or bargain with Jabba, Jabba sent Rota to safety, away from Tatooine. Okay, now I'm continuing to listen.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that video as well. I don't really know what happened to him.
So yeah, no, it's not not clear. There's nothing.
Yeah, it's saying that he either died or something happened to him.
Yeah, so yeah, there's nothing certain. So yeah, Jabba's Rhoda's fate is not certain. So that means they'll probably be bringing him back in future Star Wars, like maybe in a future Star Wars movie or maybe in a future Star Wars show. But yeah, either he died during the Clone Wars or during the time period that's between the Clone Wars and the Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Or he's off somewhere in the Outer Rim, handling his own business and whatnot. And we never see him again. But I think it's still weird. I mean, I know he's not that of an interesting character, but I mean, he's more interesting than Rose, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, damn, what there you go. You should have had Rota become the head of the resistance or be part of the resistance, and you know, dude, wouldn't it be badass to see a Hutt fighter?
Yeah. Well, there was a Hutt Jedi, I believe. There was a Hutt Jedi years ago.
Was
So,
there?
yeah, if you type it in on Google, just type in Hutt's Jedi from Star Wars. I believe there is actually a Jedi.
Even though they're slow, they're slow, but would still be badass to see a Hutt shooting a blaster at stormtroopers, or sitting on them or something.
Imagine that, the plot for The Last Jedi, instead of having Snoke, Rota is the new leader of the Resistance, not the First Order, the Resistance.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is that's been it for the Clone Wars movie review, or the live stream that we've done. Ranking out of 10, Alan, what would you rank the Clone Wars movie?
So the Clone Wars movie has its ups and downs, but is it entertaining? Yes. Is it entertaining? Yes. Okay. So, how high would I rate it? So it's a kids movie. It's obviously a kids movie. It kind of strays off of the consistency of what Star Wars movies are, usually like. And that's even before Disney bought Lucasfilm. But yeah, the characters are not, some of the characters are not the same, of course. There was even one scene, that chase scene and that mountain climbing scene where there was rock music playing in the background.
Yeah.
Which was kind of, disturbing in a way. But yeah, all in all, it was a fun movie. I would definitely recommend it for kids. And as a Star Wars fan, it's also pretty enjoyable to watch. Though when you get older, it will probably get more annoying because the one-liners and the plot holes and all those little details. But as a fan of Star Wars, I would rank this movie a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I would stay the same. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Obviously, we know it's a kids' movie, but they go, the Clone Wars is a kids' film, kids' program. No, it ain't. It's for both. Until you actually settle down and watch the Clone Wars TV show itself, you will not be disappointed because there's action every week, new stories every week, character development, and they just raise the roof with the Clone Wars series, and obviously the Clone Wars movie that we've just done, and obviously the micro series live stream as well. It's all coming together, and obviously from then on, the Clone Wars became an icon in the Star Wars galaxy as well. So yeah, that's the Star Wars Conversations, episode 12, Star Wars Clone Wars movie done. Is there anything you'd like to add, Adam? Anything you'd like to say?
Yes, I have some collectibles from the Clone Wars, but I'm not gonna show all of them. But I have this one, these couple of items that I would like to talk about, which are practically the same But yeah, I used to collect these uh, Force Attack like trading cards, and you know, they were kind of there were Clone Wars cards, and there were also, you know, uh, original and prequel trilogy cards. So I have some Clone Wars cards here that I've collected when, you know, those were a thing back in like the early 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I look at this, you know, it brings me kind of it kind of brings me joy. Those were pretty fun to collect, and, you know, looking a bit at all the characters throughout the show, the saga. And here's the addition for the later seasons of the Clone Wars, featuring like upgraded versions of the characters, and new characters, and new vehicles. So yeah, I also have action figures and Lego sets from the Clone Wars. But the sets are disassembled, and the figures are on display over there. And, you know, I have a handful of them, and I haven't, you know, prepared them for the stream, so I'm not going to pick them up and show them to you. But yeah, uh, that I love the Clone Wars, and to me the Clone Wars is, you know, kind of its own saga. You know, there's the original trilogy is its own saga, the prequel trilogy is its own saga, and the Clone Wars is its own saga to me.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, and the Clone Wars to me, you know, it's been I don't want to say a big part of my life, but it's also it had a lot of impact on my life, because you know, the Clone Wars is part of Star Wars, and I started, you know, once I discovered Star Wars, you know, I was hooked on this franchise, and so I started, you know, this Star Wars was kind of my the beginning of my Lego collecting journey. And you know, the first one of the first Star Wars sets that I got was a Clone Trooper battle pack from the Clone Wars, and with that I also started watching you know, videos on YouTube featuring Lego Star Wars, whether there are stop motion animations or Lego set reviews. And I started collecting sets. I started collecting action figures. It was very fun. I remember my first, I believe my second, the second action figure that I purchased was Count Dooku from the Clone Wars, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and yeah, so the Clone Wars, yeah, a lot of YouTubers that, you know, a lot of YouTubers that I'm subscribed to. The Clone Wars had a lot of impact on them, and, you know, kind of helped shape their personalities and their channels. And in a way, you know, it also, the fact that it shaped those channels, it also shaped me and shaped my channel. So yeah, it's it's a pretty fascinating, pretty interesting, amazing to think about when you think about it.
No, that's good, mate. That's a really, really good point that you made. Yeah, I was the same. As I mentioned as well earlier on in the stream, the Star Wars Clone Wars movie was the second Star Wars movie that I saw in cinemas, and just obviously blown away from it. And as you know as well, the Star Wars Clone Wars TV show left a huge impact on fans when it was there, and obviously when it was unfortunately stopped due to a weird reason and everything. But as we know, and it is 2019, they'll be making season 7, so hopefully we can see aspects of the Clone Wars that fans have requested for years, and obviously the Clone Wars has survived in a way, and they have listened to fans to finish off it, because it's kind of a weird, bizarre reason why they did stop it. But as we discussed in the Michael series, and we could discuss it for hours, they're going back, listening to the fans, and basically trying to get the best possible outcome possible. And growing up through the time of the Clone Wars, it obviously did change many Star Wars YouTubers. Obviously, I was just watching YouTubers there. I didn't get onto YouTube till December 2014, but watching reviews and collecting stuff really changed the mark of it. And as you say, it gives you your own sense of nostalgia, and basically it is its own franchise, and it's loved by many fans around the pond and around the world. So George Lucas is like, he kind of brought fans together again in a way with the Clone Wars being made. Because I remember when we went to Comic-Con last year, and May was talking to other Star Wars collectors and people who were at MCM Comic-Con London about the Clone Wars and how it shaped their life. I mean, you were speaking to a young fan who was just at the Ahsoka Tano, so it just shows you how it's impacted a young fan's life, let alone our life. And the Clone Wars is like literally up there with the top rankings of kids' TV shows now. But even though it's not a kids' TV show, it's an everyone's TV show, but it's up there with the most iconic moments in Star Wars, let alone being its own sort of saga and franchise. So hats off to George Lucas, and hats off to Dave Filoni and the rest of the team for making Clone Wars what it is. So yeah, here's to you. So yeah, just had an impact on everyone's life, not only your life, Alan, my life, and other people. Friends of mine, who I've known recently, they've got into watching Clone Wars and they've enjoyed it. Friends in the past who've watched it, talk about it and everything. It just changes the perspective on how to be a Star Wars fan, and what to love, and what to enjoy even better. So that's what I really need to say really about Clone Wars. So obviously Clone Wars figures behind me over there, they're all there, different ones, and when Clone Wars Season 7 is released, I'll be collecting all the figures again. So
if they're going to be releasing any Clone Wars figures.
Well, I heard they are going to release some.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I heard they are going to release some. So if they do, I could be wrong saying this, but if they do, then bring it on. I'll be collecting all of them. So
is there a list already?
I don't think there's a list. I heard something from it somewhere, but I could be wrong. But fingers crossed they do release some figures and everything.
All right, looking forward to it then.
But yeah, anything else to add, Adam, before we eventually end this stream?
No, I'm done.
You're done. Is there no comments in the chats?
No comments in the chat this time.
Which is very rare, but hopefully, if you need any comments, anything under the video to myself or Alan, then please let us know. And yeah, that's been it for the Star Wars Conversations episode 12, the Clone Wars movie live stream. Hope you enjoyed it. Before we sign off, is there anything you'd like to tell us, Alan, about where we can find you on YouTube or any social media channels?
So you can find me on YouTube as Darth. Yeah, you see, I'm still.
You almost said it. You almost said the old channel name, Oak 99.
Yeah, I still have to get used to my new channel name. So So you can find me on YouTube as Oka99, and you can find me on Twitter as Oak99, but at Darth Akoko 1999, because I still the old username. And you can also find me on Instagram as Darth Akoko 99 at Darth Akoko 99. But yeah, you basically search Oak 99 everywhere, and you find me pretty quickly. I don't know if on YouTube you'd find me as quickly, but maybe it's still adjusting to the new name, or the search. I don't know how it works, but Oak 99. That's what my channel name now. But I believe that if you also type Darth Akoko, you'll also find me. So there you go.
There you go. In the title that I've done, I've still got it down as Darth Akoko Productions, so I'll get it.
No.
Go back and change it, so I'll change that after we've done the stream.
All right. So yeah, thank you, Jack, for inviting me to the stream. It's always fun to do these streams.
That's fine. Yeah. Well, as you said last week on the Micro series, we wanted to do the Clone Wars for a while, and then
and I'm looking forward to the next one. So where can people find you, and how do they keep track and tune in to your content?
Well, you can find me on Facebook or Instagram by searching and clicking on the channel art banner on my channel, where you can see the links to my social media pages and everything. You can subscribe to the channel, Jedi Master 98, for Star Wars reviews, live streams, and everything. I've got a couple more things to review on the channel. I've put some good content out recently for my YouTube channel, because it's been a decent month for my channel in January, because obviously the new stuff that I received in the December 2018 of last year. So you can you can subscribe to my channel, Jedi Master 98, follow all my other social media platforms, and plenty more stuff to come on the channel. So thank you to whoever's ever viewing today's live stream. No comments, but that's not a major issue, but hopefully more comments in the future. And here's to the next one. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Take care, look after yourself, and as always, may the Force be with you.